we start the show?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hi, welcome to this epic disaster. We've started the show.
Hi, show.
Welcome to another. So this is a really kind of a weird show because we're actually recording this just minutes before we release it. It is Monday. We're late. Yesterday you were sick. You're always sick. Have you ever noticed that? Yesterday you were sick.
I do get sick a lot.
And so you said, let's do it tomorrow. Today is Monday, Labor Day Monday.
Happy Labor Day.
Well, we usually do a show first thing on Monday, although sometimes I forget and put it on Tuesday.
So we could have just said you forgot, but no, you had to call my ass out for being sick yesterday.
But we will put it up today, and so the show will still be up on Monday.
Monday night.
Better than when I forget about it.
When it comes up on Wednesday.
You know what's weird? All right, so this is episode 140. We just pointed out 140.
Yep.
Episode 140.
That's
Can you believe we've done 140? We've done 140 of these shows.
Not 1.40.
That's weird for me. But anyway, sometimes I just miss sitting here doing this. Do you? Do you ever just like?
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, I want to go do a show.
But I'm never here to go to like spur of the moment. Let's go do a show kind of thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. But sometimes you just like
I do miss it.
I want to do a show.
Here's the thing.
We only do it. It's just an hour a week, basically.
But and here's the thing is that if I don't have a migraine or if I am feeling okay and ready to record, sometimes just driving over here is like a hindrance. Because I have to drive over here in my car, which is currently not registered.
Right. It's about a 20-minute drive.
Yeah.
20 to 30, depending on traffic.
Got to get the dog,
You're
put her in
not
the
that
car.
far away, but it's Atlanta traffic.
It's Atlanta traffic. You got assholes on the road. Because I'm sorry, y'all in Atlanta, that
it happens.
Do you have to do 100 miles an hour? No, you do not. But my car is failing me, and so I'm driving with brakes that aren't great. I don't have air conditioning in my car. It's currently early September. It's hot.
Soon you will have it, though.
Yes.
I had a vehicle incident this week, which I will tell you. I'm not trying to interrupt you, but I was just going to tell you. But first, let's have a cold one.
Let's do that because it's hot and we want to have a cold one.
Cold one. What do we? What kind of cold one are we having?
So we're having another offering from Hare Brewing Company. We've had their beers before. It's been a minute. Yeah. This is CDL, which I think is funny because a CDL is commercial driver's license.
Oh, okay.
And you don't want to drive after.
Do not drink and drive.
You have this, but it's called Citra DryHop Lager.
I'm not looking. I'm a little scared.
You should be.
Recently, I've been scared of beers, and then I had them and I liked them.
So this one, it doesn't really give us much as far as like what to expect from the beer, except that this is kind of fun. So this must be for people who are watching their intake of things.
Oh, what does that mean? Because
it says that it's 4% alcohol by volume, which is not enough in my opinion.
Grapefruity smelling.
It's got 100 calories, so it's low in calories.
Not too bad.
It's only got 5 carbs, but it also has 2 grams of protein.
Really?
Yeah.
It must be the rabbit.
I think that's the rabbit.
All right. It smells a little grapefruity to me, and that's kind of.
Nope, I agree with you.
It does say citrus on the cover, so we can't complain. We know what we're getting.
You bought it.
Oh my God. Okay.
That's the reaction I was expecting from you.
Okay. Well, there is an interesting little aftertaste, so I'll work on it. Good head there, you got.
Thanks.
I'll work on it some. See, I feel like that we shouldn't buy, because sometimes we get into this little habit where we get beers that we know we're going to like.
Yes.
And I don't feel like that's good. I think we should, we're reviewing. I think sometimes we need to buy some beers that might be a little challenging to us and try them out. And so that's what I'm doing, because one of the things, like a couple weeks ago, last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we had that orange beer. Remember?
The one with orange juice in it.
Yeah, I knew I was going to hate that beer.
But it
turns out
really
I liked
good.
it.
Yeah.
So if we don't branch out and kind of surprise ourselves, I think it's boring. I think we need to kind of do that. So, like this beer, when I saw it, I got it. I was like, we're probably not going to like it, but I went ahead and got it anyway. So, I feel like we should do that.
Yeah, it's definitely got the hop. The hop is the first thing that hits me after the grapefruit scent. Because you're right, it's citrus for sure.
Citrusy,
but it's in the name.
kind of a very floral aftertaste.
Yep.
Like
That's the hops.
Seriously, like you're eating flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very botanical. I did see, this is interesting, and I'm going to investigate this and possibly bring some of it into the podcast.
Okay.
I was at one of your favorite liquor stores today.
S&N.
Yeah. It's like the neighborhood liquor store.
Well, one of them, sure.
But he's got a good selection of beers.
One of the best. That's why I like going there. But my favorite is, and I don't know if this guy owns it. I don't know if he's the manager. He's just always there. He's the nicest guy.
So nice.
He's interactive. He's funny. He'll give you good advice on what you're drinking, even if you don't want it.
Yep.
But I just like the guy. And I remember back when we were doing the Life and Kill podcast, we rated him as like one of the best things in Atlanta.
He is.
Yeah. I still say Lawrenceville Highway, S&N. Tell him that you heard it on the podcast.
He came over to me today because I couldn't find the fucking gin. It's not the most intuitive liquor store, and I could not find the gin, which is why I was there.
Yeah.
So he had a line and he had people and stuff, and I found all the vodka and I found all the tequila and I found all the rum, and I'm like, where the hell is the gin, right? I'll tell you, he doesn't have a big selection of gin.
Oh, really?
No, he does not.
Okay.
And it's kind of just like a half an aisle on one side.
That's not cool.
That's all the gin he's got. I finally found it, but just as I found it, he came over and said, is there anything I can help you find?
Yeah.
Because all his crowd had gone by that point. It's just some random woman running around a store. And I said, no, I'm just being picky, because that's what I tell people when they offer me assistance.
He's like your cool uncle, I feel like. It's just like, I think he's got a great personality. But beer wise, there's nobody close by here that has the selection that they have. It's where anytime I'm getting, because you could find places that have just like regular, the same beer everybody else has, even like Kroger or something.
All the same.
The same.
Yeah.
But he definitely has a good selection, so I always go there.
I found what I found in his store today is I found a section of, like, it's specifically laid out organic beers. And
what's an organic beer? Is that like the hops are organic?
I guess so. I mean, that's what I'm getting at. I think that it's all like kind of organic and not treated with
pesticides.
Yeah, testicle sides, whatever you want to call them. But one thing that caught my eye is there's a beer I'm going to bring on. I'm not going to tell you the name of it yet. Okay. But it's they've been adding lactose to beers a lot lately to
Very
give it
creamy.
that good mouthfeel.
Sure.
I like a good mouthfeel.
Me too. Those are good. We've had some good beers like that.
And this one actually is lactose free.
Wow. And it still has the mouthfeel.
It's got oat milk in it. So it's an oat milk stout.
Okay. I think we should try that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
But today what we're having, again, just a reminder, is Citra DryHop Lager by Red Hare. So we'll let you know what we think at the end of the podcast.
I had a vehicle kind of thing that happened to me. My work van finally conked out. Died on the interstate of Atlanta.
Oh, no.
Hot
side of the road
day.
kind of stuff.
Well, I wasn't side of the road. So it's been having some difficulties. Now, first of all, let me just say, I bought this van back when we were together.
Right.
Years ago. We lived in Chattanooga.
Yeah.
So I've had it for quite a while. I have driven that van all over the freaking country.
Yep.
It has been to Texas several times. It's been to New Hampshire, New York, Virginia, Florida, South Carolina. Everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
It now has almost 500,000 miles on it.
Jesus, what brand is it again?
It's Chevy Express. One of those white work vans you see.
Why did I think it was a Dodge?
I don't know.
Okay, so it's a Chevy Express.
And I haven't had a lot of problems with it. It's a workhorse. It'll go anywhere and everywhere. And it's a little bit, every once in a while, it's had some difficulties. I've had to fix them up. But never anything major. But it started, a few months ago, I started having some problems with the air conditioning. And I was going to, where did I go? Florida. And I was concerned about not having air conditioning in Florida.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. So I was able to drive it down with air conditioning. And, it's not had too much of a problem. And then recently, it's been making some noise, some weird noise. And I was like, uh-oh, here we go.
Yeah.
The air conditioning is going to just fall out. So I was driving it down. I was going to go to my workshop up in Chattanooga, and I'm driving it on the interstates of Atlanta. And I look down, and it's overheating. It never overheats.
Okay.
And I thought, what's going on? I thought,
could just be thermostat.
I thought, do you have a busted radiator hose or something? I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's running hot. So I thought I need to pull over as quick as I can and put some water in. I thought I'm going to try to get out of Atlanta, get up into Marietta or something to pull over. So I don't want to be right in the middle of traffic.
More in the burbs.
So that's what I was doing. So I'm driving. Now, first of all, I'm wearing some headphones and I'm listening to some stuff. So I can't hear all the noise in the van. That was probably a mistake.
Yeah.
I should have had those off and really listened really carefully.
Yeah.
And so then I'm just driving, and then all of a sudden I feel the power just go out.
Oh no.
And I'm like, what's happening? So headphones come off, and then I hear the van going, something like that.
Interesting.
Just revving up really, really loud.
I wouldn't have called you a Chevy Express there, but
And then it was like, it wasn't clicking into gear.
Yeah.
And it had no power, and then all of a sudden you can kind of feel like, and then it would move. And then boom, and do it again, rev, and it just kept doing that, and it kept getting worse.
I've had a car where my transmission went out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So I pulled over. I took an exit really quick, and I pulled over and I found a gas station. I go into the gas station. And I look, I think, well, maybe it's just whatever, the overheating. Maybe I put some water and if it didn't even need it. So I was like, oh crap, it's not that. And I knew it wasn't.
It's not going to affect the transmission.
So I thought, all right, one of two things has to happen. I'm going to have to tow this thing, have it towed back, and it's full of stuff I need for work.
Oh no.
Or I'm going to just try to drive it home. And do you remember when we talked about it on this show, and I drove that van's tire was on metal, and it was almost blown, and I drove it all the way from Texas to Atlanta
20 hours
on that tire.
And Doug in a pub wanted to smack you.
So now you know which choice that I decided to pick. So I decided I'm going to drive it home. Now, I didn't drive it on the interstate. I didn't want to, because I thought what's going to happen if it just conks out.
Yeah.
So I drove it back roads all the way home. Fortunately, I wasn't incredibly far from home, but I mean, I was a little distance. So I would say maybe 10 miles, 15 miles.
That's not too bad. You can limp it home 10 miles.
And I did. So I got all the way home. Finally, I made it home. It just kept getting worse and worse. I didn't really think I was like when I was close to my neighborhood, I didn't think I was going to be able to make it. Yeah. But at least I could have walked. But I finally did. I got it in, and I parked it, and so I'm not moving it again. It's done.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna sell it. I just get rid of it. It's time. I've gotten my money worth out of it.
Oh God, so, I remember you didn't spend all that much on it.
Well, I had a truck. I traded the truck, and I think if I remember right, it was the truck plus $1,700.
Yeah.
And that thing has lasted so long.
7 years.
Yeah,
at least,
or more. Yeah, so I don't have any complaints. It's held up and it's done well. So it's time to look at getting another one. I am in the process of moving my my company here locally, so I don't have to drive so far.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's time to kind of look at some new stuff. So that's what I'm gonna do.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would you rather sell your van or live in it?
Oh, I don't live in that van. What are you talking about?
All right, let's ask another would you rather question instead.
So was that supposed to be...
That was a segue.
It's a little segue into would you rather game?
Yes.
You're basically telling me to shut up. I got it. I see. You know what? I'm feeling green in this role. I'm feeling the green. It's happening in my hand right now, green. I'm having a green hand.
No.
Well, I have to roll it again.
Actually, red and blue is what you dropped.
I accidentally dropped two, so I'm going to do another one.
All right.
I'm still going with the green. Look at that.
It's
Second
green.
time?
Yeah.
Second time green. I knew.
And the monkey could type out the Bible if you give it long enough. I hate
and
that saying.
You could actually kiss my butt.
I hate that saying.
You can kiss my butt if I gave you enough time too.
You're right.
You could.
Eventually, your butt might look good enough to kiss if that's all I'm looking at.
Butt looks excellent. All right, green. Let's see. What do we got?
Ethics and intellect.
Oh man, I've got both of those.
Would you rather? Hey, it has to do with cars.
Okay.
Would you rather pick up a hitchhiker on a deserted highway, or
what does she look like?
Why is it she? It didn't say what gender she
it didn't.
identified
And you
as.
were automatically thinking man, and I switched it on you.
Would you rather pick up a hitchhiker on a deserted highway or let a vagrant stay overnight in your house?
They're about the same. I've thought about vagrants staying in my house. I'm not, maybe that. I don't really care. Either one.
People are people.
Yeah.
They can be hitchhiking. They could be homeless.
I
They're still
was
just
talking
people.
about that with my wife the other day. Like, we watch ID Channel all the time. We talked about
Same.
that.
Yep.
And it's amazing some of these shows that they show back in the 60s and 70s, mostly the 70s. It's just amazing how many people hitchhiked.
Mm-hmm.
Young girls, they just needed to go across country. They hitchhiked. They didn't think about it.
Or across town.
And and that's what they said. They said we all did it.
Yeah.
And you need to think about it, and what happened, especially in the 70s when people were having sex and didn't care about anything. People were hitchhiking, having sex with strangers, and then going on and not thinking a word about it.
Yeah, but they were also being murdered and tortured.
A few people did get murdered
Yeah.
and tortured. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
not
And
everybody.
That's
though.
a bad thing.
It's a very bad thing. But I'm just saying not everybody did, but I'm just saying that was the lifestyle. It's just like nobody thought about it. Let's just go out. You hitchhiked. If it's somebody that was cute,
You want to have sex?
maybe you did a little bit of that, and then you moved on.
Move on.
Yeah.
All right. So it's my turn.
You're going to drop. What are you going to drop? What do you think you're going to drop? What color?
Red.
I'm feeling maybe that. I'm feeling red. I meant to say blue.
Uh-huh.
All right.
It was blue, by the way. Blue.
Blue is appearance and embarrassment. That should be red.
My appearance does embarrass me.
All right. Would you rather have two uncorrectable and crooked buck teeth,
Oh, I did when I was younger.
or
But they were correctable, I suppose. So I
be
guess
uncorrectably cross-eyed? Now, this is a very unfair question to people who are cross-eyed and or buck teeth.
I agree.
Buck-
I agree. So here's the thing. You said uncorrectable.
Uh-huh.
So I have to remember that because I'll tell you, when I was little, there's pictures of me. I was kind of a towhead.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was blonde as a kid, which was more strawberry blonde, and then it went red, and then it went brown, and now it's just yucky.
Uh-huh.
Mostly gray. But I have a picture of myself wearing, I remember it vividly. I'm wearing this little like purple dress suit thing. It was like a vest. And it's, school pictures. So it's like second grade school pictures. But it's like when I was little, they used to do 2 batches of school pictures a year. You'd get the early year school pictures, and then you got the elective school pictures at the middle of the year. My mom paid for all that shit.
Yeah,
So
we didn't do that.
yeah, so the second year school picture, there I am. I guess in the second grade, you're what, 7-ish?
Second grade is about that, yes.
Okay. I had buck teeth and fangs. This is the only set of pictures.
Thanks for the buck teeth.
Right? This is
Sorry.
the only set of pictures that my mother didn't purchase additional pictures.
We got enough vampire pictures in the house.
Because it was so bad that when I smiled,
Yeah.
my bottom lip went behind my buck teeth,
Ooh.
in front of my next teeth, and
Wow.
my fangs stuck out over my bottom lip as well.
You're like a hillbilly
So
vampire.
you got 2
Right.
buck teeth and then fangs, and it's awful.
Jacked up, man.
I had like an inch overbite,
Mm-hmm.
and I wore braces until I was 13 years old. I got them when I was 10, finally. But this was like, you're little, your face is small, your teeth are fucking huge.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So it was a frightening photo. Yeah.
This is something I, at certain points in my life, I never would have admitted. So I'm going to admit it here on the podcast. So growing up,
Tell us.
My whole family, we had gigantic teeth, and I still kind of do. But that was sort of like I think all kids at that age did. Just like you said, it's just part of it.
Because adult teeth come in before
they
your
don't-
face is adult.
They
Yeah.
don't grow.
Yeah.
But I always felt like that. We always had like these huge teeth, and they were kind of buck teeth, and so I didn't like it. And so I think I always kind of had a thing against that, like big teeth, buck teeth, whatever. But I've discovered as I've gotten older that women that I'm more attracted to tend to have a little bit of an overbite.
Yep.
I don't know what that is.
It's funny because my sister had perfect teeth as a child. Perfect teeth. Like just one of those Julia Roberts smiles. When she smiled big, everything was square and straight. I don't know what the difference was there. I think I do. But I didn't. And
Yeah.
so I used to be very envious of her smile. And then she ruined her smile with, several years of drug use.
Oh, you don't want to say that about your sister on the podcast.
No, it's fine. She knows she did it.
She doesn't care you talking about it.
I don't think so.
Maybe it was someone else's sister. Who knows?
It could have been someone
Could have
else's
been.
sister
This
that
is all
lived in my house
theoretically, anyway.
my entire life. But but I was always so like, when you wear braces for 3 or 4 years, you feel it, obviously. And when you're making the huge changes that were happening in my mouth for that period of time, and you suffer through it, you take care of your teeth afterwards.
Yeah.
Like you admire your smile afterwards.
Right.
Even though when you get the braces off, your teeth look even bigger because they don't have those little silver things on them anymore.
Right.
But yeah, I always thought that, it's not fair that I had to go through 4 years of pain.
Yeah.
And and she didn't, and she ruined her teeth, and I did my best to take care of mine, and I'm so jealous. Anyways, that's a bad story. We should probably cut that out.
No, we won't cut it out. I do think, though, find it kind of interesting about me nowadays, kind of being, I don't know what it is about.
I know what
with
you
a little
mean,
bit
though.
of an overbite, sexy.
It's attractive.
Like I think of Jenna Elfman.
Yes.
You know,
she's got a little bit. So there's a woman who was on Eureka who played Tess Fontaine, and I can't remember her name. Jamie Ray Newman is her name. Mm-hmm. Wow, I've never done that before. And she played the main character's love interest for like a season. Mm-hmm. She has a little bit of an overbite, and I've always thought she was one of the sexiest women.
What is it about that?
I don't know.
So speaking of that kind of thing, all right, I want to talk about a dream I had.
Oh, okay.
And we've talked about, I've mentioned this on the show before. It's kind of embarrassing. Mm-hmm. There's something that's happening to me recently where I'm dreaming about all of these women.
Yeah.
And I'm not really having sex with them.
Matter of fact, you asked me a question the other day. Have you ever fallen in love in a dream?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is what I'm going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Okay.
But what's happening is, so sometimes, I don't think any time I do have sex, but a lot of times I'm about to. Uh-huh. Or I'm getting,
and then you wake up.
Sexy kind of things are happening.
Right.
So, but here's what's weird. All of the girls are like in their 20s.
Wow.
That's not cool.
No.
But I'm kind of young too in my dreams.
Okay.
So here's something. This is sort of a little bit of a side. Let me ask you a question. When you dream, do you dream through your eyes, or are you a character? So like when you're watching the dream, are you a character in your own dream, or are you like now looking through your eyes at what's happening around you?
Both. I oftentimes, even in the same dream, will switch back and forth. Uh-huh. I'll switch back and forth. Like if it's something that's happening intimately, I tend to see it through my eyes.
Okay.
But if it's something that's happening far, then I see it like I'm overlooking the situation.
I don't think I ever dream of myself. I don't think I see myself in the dream. I'm always the watcher in the dream.
Okay.
Okay, so but young, and I guess I just assume I'm young. You have to ask the people.
You
in the
can't
dream.
see yourself.
All right, so this dream that I had, I'm glad you said that. That's why I wanted to talk about that, because that is what happened. So I fell in love with this person in my dream.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah.
So I don't remember everything about it. It's been a few days, but so this person, there's a girl in my dream, and she's very well known for playing a character kind of like Elvira.
Okay.
She's sort of, like the kind of tattoo rockabilly girls, they have this sort of Betty Page haircut.
Yes.
And
yes.
They have that sort of 60s rockabilly style and all that, with the leopard print and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So there's a little bit of that about her, too. So she was kind of like Elvira with that kind of extra dimension.
Okay. Very
cute. Dark hair. But young, 20-something, late 20s, I'm sure. And, she had the body. So at some point, and again, can't remember all the details, but I really kind of fell for her. We were going on a date, and I just kind of thought, well, she's not going to like me.
Wow.
I just thought, I'm going to have fun, but
look at the confidence on you.
Well, that's just me. I was just like, she's not going to think any, she's not, she's like this character. She's hot. Yeah. Why would she, care about me? So I just think I'm going to have fun. But during the day, I start realizing, wow, she's kind of like, she likes me. She's fallen for me. So this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I remember, I don't remember if we talked about sex, but I remember sexy kind of stuff was happening. And I remember taking off her shirt. She was wearing a kind of I don't know what you call it, teddy. Is that what it is? Kind of like a really silky strap.
Like a camisole.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And probably underwear, little kind of cool. And
Wow.
I shouldn't be telling you this. I promised her I wouldn't mention anything, but so I remember at some point thinking, wow, she's really going for me. Obviously, she's dressed like this, I guess. And in dreams, at one point you're in the middle of somewhere, and then all of a sudden you blink and you're in a bedroom.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
There's no logic. So I'm lifting up her shirt, and she's got her arms up, and I just remember going up close to where her breast is, and there was like a little tattoo there. Like it was like a line of print. I don't even know what it said. I wish I knew what it said.
Okay.
But like right about then, and I didn't get to see anything. I woke up. Just kind of
just about to see boobs.
Yeah, but I just remember when I woke up, I actually had feelings.
Yep.
In myself that you have when you when you first with someone, that little tingly kind of thing.
You're starting to fall for somebody.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say it's love, but it's just that kind of fun, just being with somebody for the first time kind of feeling. And I had that when I woke up. I was like, oh, crap.
Oh.
I mean, it's not cheating. I told my wife about it.
No, it's dreams. It's just dreams. But yes, I have fallen in love in a dream before, or been in love already in a dream. And in my case, it was somebody that I knew outside of like my dream world. It's an actual person.
Right.
But we weren't an item. And that wasn't even a consideration. But in the dream, and this is what sucked for me, because in the dream it was so good. Like we were good together. There wasn't any.
That's awful.
There wasn't any sex or anything like that. But we were a couple in my dream, and we were good at it. And that's a new feeling for me. So having that feeling, and then having to actually face that person in real life, knowing what we did together in my dream, was kind of depressing.
I kind of think I've had that too, where it's like a real person, and then you feel like you did something really with that person.
Yeah, you do.
And then you expect them to feel the same thing, and
like
they
somehow
don't even
they
know
were
about
there.
it. Yeah,
you know, and they were.
I can't believe you don't feel the same way.
What the hell? we had a wonderful night together.
Like, what are you
He's
talking
like,
about?
What? You're nuts, lady.
Call the cops. Yeah, that's it's like a cruel joke, man.
It is. It is kind of a cruel joke. So in regard to your dream, I don't really have any kind. I mean, there's not much to interpret there other than.
No, that wasn't. There was no mystery.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's weird about me continually dreaming, because I'm not the kind of guy. I appreciate young people. I appreciate young ladies, and I appreciate young ladies' energy and their bodies and things that they do.
Sure.
But I don't know. When I'm at my age and I look at them, I can appreciate it. I'm just like, but I don't drool over it. It's just like that could be my daughter.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's not a fantasy of mine.
Right.
I like older ladies.
I'll tell your wife that.
Yeah. So I don't know what the whole thing is. I think it has something to do with recapturing youth. And the reason, now this is a dream I'm going to tell you about, and this one might need some interpretation.
Okay.
So I went to, in my dream, go to a class reunion. Okay.
With actual people you went to school with?
Yeah, there was like a guy I haven't seen since I was in high school.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, hey, it's Stanley. How are you? And it's the same guy. He actually, now that I think about it, he kind of looked the same as he did. He wouldn't look that way. And
yeah.
He's probably bald now. I don't know.
It's funny that's where you go first, considering you aren't anywhere near bald.
No, but
point.
he's just the kind of person that I think he would be.
Okay.
I hope not. No,
Yeah.
not that there's anything wrong with being bald, but just I don't wish baldness on anyone unless they want it.
I wish baldness on you.
Yeah. And then so I saw him. I was like, oh wow, I'm going to have to say hi to him in a few minutes. So I'm walking around. And then I go into, they always have like it's happening like in a ballroom or something.
A banquet hall.
Hotel. Yeah, banquet hall. And so there's actually a long table with a bunch of food, and people are eating. Mm-hmm. And so I'm walking around, and I'm seeing like one of my friends was there, but he's like 7 foot tall. I'm like, oh wow, he's like gotten really
Growth
big.
spurt.
Yeah. And so I talked to him for a second. I grabbed some food, and I just kind of scan the crowd, and I start seeing all these faces. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that guy. Oh wow, him. And then so I go and I'm walking, I'm getting some food, and I think, oh, I need to go through this room, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to see everyone. So I go through the room, and my wife is standing there, and I'm like, hey, and we start talking. And she says, well, you ready to go? And I'm like, yeah, let's go. And so I go home.
But you forgot to talk to everybody.
I totally forgot about my class reunion. It didn't even enter my mind. It's just like went from one thing to the other. Like I was totally present. And it's not like I was like, no, but we need to go.
Right.
I was just like, okay, yeah, we're going home now. So we got home, and I just remember going home then thinking, oh, crap, I forgot to go say hi to everybody. I forgot my reunion. And I didn't go to it.
Wow. But you saw everybody. Like, you were there.
I saw them.
You didn't mingle.
No, but my plan was to mingle. And so I was going to mingle with my wife. And then I went to see her, and she was like there, and she was like, hey, how are you? And she was like, all right, let's go home now. And she didn't know all of the other stuff. She was just ready to go home. And I was like, okay, cool. So let's go. And so we went home. And then I realized I forgot to see all the people that I went to school with.
Okay. So has your wife replaced your friends?
No, I don't have any friends.
That's true. I mean, you got me.
You're the only friend.
No, you have other friends.
No, I don't have any friends. But, all right, so a couple things like my class, even though I like the people in my class, I didn't hang out a lot with my class.
Right.
So I've been to a couple of class reunions, and like I told my wife, if they had a class reunion next door to me right now, I wouldn't go.
No.
None of those people very few of them I hung out with. I hung out with people much younger than me, and classes much younger than me. So my class people, even though I know who they are, a lot of them I went all the way from elementary school all the way to high school.
Right.
I know who they are, and they're okay. If I saw them now, I'd say hi, but I don't think I would make a point to go see them.
Right.
But I was enjoying it in the dream. I was enjoying seeing all the people, and what was weird is in my dream it was like an actual class reunion because I don't know who I was. It was a surprise who was going to be there, and one guy was freaking 7 foot tall. So how do you expect that? So everybody had changed a little bit. He grew a lot.
A lot.
So, but then it was just like, okay, I left.
You just left.
And I just wonder, I don't know, is that like I disconnected with my past?
Oh, yeah.
That's what that means. Like with my wife, and I'm very happy with that. And that's kind of true anyway. I don't have a big connection with my past, and my wife didn't do it. Mm-mm. She didn't take me away from it.
She wasn't like, we're leaving.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think your interpretation is pretty spot on. We've had these conversations. I actually got pissed at you one day.
Oh, you got really mad
in regard to these conversations about your past.
Yeah, it almost destroyed the whole episode.
Thanks for that.
No, it did. I think everybody go back and tell. I don't know which number it was, but yeah, you got really mad.
Don't listen to it again. It was awful. But
you're in a bad mood.
I was in a bad mood to begin with, and you just threw some shit at me I wasn't expecting, like a monkey.
Well, I just said at the time I was just like I don't. If people from my past want to talk to me, and I think you were thinking I was trying to be stuck up. I don't want to talk to them. I was just like I don't have to connect with people in my past only with things that happened in my past.
Okay.
So if there's somebody I went to high school with, I don't have to sit and talk about, hey, remember when we were in high school, we stole that guy's pumpkin from how that was awesome. I don't have to talk about that. So let me talk about what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your life now. We don't have to connect, but that's what people do. Is like they don't have.
So we're going to have the conversation again.
No, I'm just saying that I'm just trying to clarify my position that you got mad at. People don't want to connect with the present; they always want to connect with the past. And I'm not much, a little bit, but I'm not much of a past person. I like to be a present person.
And you're wondering what the dream is about.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's your ability to remember fondly people because you actually wanted to go and say hi to those people.
Okay.
And yet you're fine with leaving it there.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay.
I'm also going to mention something about this beer real quick before I go any further.
What?
It tastes like cat piss.
I think so too. I actually wrote it right here.
It smells like and tastes like cat piss.
Yeah, I put cat pee right here because that's what.
Yep, cat pee.
Okay.
It's cat pee.
Well, we know. I don't think it's going to be getting a 3 or 4.
So are you comfortable with that explanation and then letting it go?
I don't think. I don't think it wasn't a big mystery. But I couldn't understand why I was really excited about seeing everybody and I mean, there were actual people that I recognized, and I was just like, oh, well, I mean, I haven't thought about some of these people in a long time, and there they were in my dream. And then just the fact that I was that willing just to let it all go. Just like,
and just go home.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, crap, I forgot. I forgot to go see those people.
But you weren't so terribly disappointed that you turned around and went back either.
I don't think I did, but I woke up. So.
Yeah. I had a dream.
Oh, yeah?
I have a couple things I want to talk to you about. One of the things is a dream that I do need some interpretation on because it's a little awkward.
Okay.
First of all, you and I were a couple in my dream.
Oh, that is awkward.
And I don't know if we were just a friendly couple.
Did we have sex?
No, there was no sex in the dream.
We were naked.
We slept in the same bed.
Oh.
And I don't think we were naked.
That was our relationship. Sleep
Basically.
in the same bed, no sex.
No one was naked, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was, okay, so we were living together in some capacity.
Oops.
And it's about my pets. It's about my cat specifically. Oh. So we lived on some sort of a commune or compound, but it was more like a vacation spot that we worked at. So we lived there as residents, but people would come and go.
Almost like a camp.
Yeah. It didn't really have anything to do with this dream other than that was the situation.
Okay.
But I had Pretty Girl with me, my cat.
Okay.
And have you ever seen a cat whose eye starts to get really big and bulge out of their face? Like not like over a 5-minute course,
That's
but
scary.
like over, like it's a disease that cats get. Where
No.
Yeah.
That's frightening.
It's very frightening. And this started happening to Pretty Girl.
Ooh.
One of her eyes started like enlarging, like it was infected or there's something wrong with it. Like it had a tumor in it.
Okay.
Is more like what I can, but it's like her eye just kept like, and it starts bulging out of her face. And then like it get pussy.
Ooh.
And like there's a hole in the big, it looks like a blueberry for an eye.
She was a pussy. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
That's disgusting.
I'm
but
just saying, I don't know.
But it wasn't hurting her.
Okay, so
because that was my main concern is like, is she in pain? And I knew she wasn't in pain, but I knew we also had to do something about this because I don't want this to get any worse.
Okay.
And then it fell out, like the cat's eye fell out.
All right.
And I picked it up, and I kept trying to get her to the veterinarian on site, and whose name was Janine. I don't know why. Oh. I don't know anybody named Janine.
Janine Garofalo, Truth About Cats and Dogs.
Maybe. But so the vet's name was Janine, and I kept trying to get Pretty Girl in to see Janine.
And she was a vet.
Yeah.
In the movie.
That's right. So
I would have left you. Sorry.
You would have left me. You'd have been like, okay, I'll take Pretty Girl. I'll take her to see Janine.
You and your Cyclops cat, you're alone.
Yeah.
You're on your own. Bye.
But then it started happening to Pretty Girl's other eye.
Oh, no.
And I hadn't got her into the vet yet. And I kept trying to, like, she'd go away. And I wasn't concerned about her because she'd come back.
Okay.
And it's not like I was losing her and frantically searching for her. I've had those dreams before, but that wasn't happening in this dream. It was just when I can get to the vet, I need to know where she is so that I can pick her up and take her to the vet. Okay. But she kept coming in and going out. And the second eye fell out as well. And I had it too. So I kept both of her eyes. And they were big and huge and diseased, and one had a worm coming out of it.
Hello.
And,
nasty.
And her eye sockets, this creeped me out. Her eye sockets were humongous.
All right, stop eating what you're eating before you go to bed. That's disgusting.
And like huge, like scooped out of her face, but she was fine with it. I just needed to either, get them flushed out and get them sewn up or something. Like I was just going to get her fixed, right? She'd never see again, but she's okay with that. And I need to get her to the vet. And I go to the vet. Finally, Janine is ready to see me. I go to the vet, and I'm like, I'm here to see Janine. And there's this very large woman who is very much in charge. And she says, "Do you have an appointment?" And I'm like, well, no, but I got a call saying Janine was available, so I'd like to see her now. And the woman was very put out, and it was a problem. But, that's when I woke up. So,
All right.
So what the hell is that about?
All right, here's my interpretation of this dream.
Oh, dear.
Here's what I think, and I'm mostly just incidental in this dream, but it's important that I'm in it.
Well, you were there a bunch because it was like every time I was trying to find Pretty Girl,
I know, but I'm
I'd
talking about,
ask you.
I'm saying the meaning basically
Right.
is mostly incidental, although there's a connection.
Yeah.
So my interpretation is, because here's what I believe. I believe your cat, your kitty, is your last connection to your distant past.
Well, yeah, she's almost 17.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's your last connection to all of that.
Yeah.
So what you're losing your sight. You're losing your connection. She's representing your connection, and like a little bit at a time, your ability to see your past, to connect with your past, to have vision of your past is gradually leaving you. That's another reason why I was there in that capacity, living with you, because that's your past. Mm-hmm. We didn't have this kind of relationship,
right.
So it was still a part of the past, and it's you feeling like you're gradually losing that part of you, and that's what that represents.
Okay. So does that have also to do with her like leaving and coming back and leaving and coming back?
Well, maybe, but I don't think that it's necessarily the whole thing. She wasn't her. It was more about you than her.
Yes.
So she's representing your past, and her eye that's gradually going away is your vision, your connection with your past. And it's almost like things in your I would say distant past is you're starting to feel like you're losing sight of it.
Okay.
And now's fine. You're okay. You're starting a new life. You're doing, but this wasn't about that. This was about the old, and that's kind of what it is. It's about, in some ways, just kind of letting go of whether you should or not, because you're going to the doctor. You're trying to fix it. And someone's standing there, some big person. Who's the big person that's standing there saying, do you have an appointment? Could be.
I don't know. She was a very well-dressed and well-coiffed, very large black woman.
Okay. Do you know anybody like that in life?
No.
Okay.
But there was a character very much like her in a show I used to watch.
Okay.
So
I don't think it's that. I think it's
I
something
don't know.
else. Maybe she represents, I don't know, she might represent work. She might represent discipline. I don't know. She could represent almost anything. Maybe she represents.
I had a babysitter like that.
Well, there you go.
When I was little.
She might represent your current location. If she's large, maybe she represents Atlanta. She's like, because you live in a much larger city right now.
Yeah.
Could be. I mean, I don't even know, and I don't know if that's even important.
I don't think so either.
But I think the important thing is that's what I think. I think the cat represents your past. It is your connection with your past. You're losing sight of your past, and it's causing you some anxiety. You want to try to fix that. It's like you want to try to reach out. Maybe do you reach out and connect with sort of the same dream that I had with my class reunion? Do I go back and connect, or do I just walk away? Do I just leave it? But you have an emotional. See, the cat is an emotional attachment,
right, to
your past. I don't have my class reunion wasn't necessarily that.
Yeah.
So you're not going to walk away, and not only that, but in spite of what we might have now or what we might have had back then, the fact that we were together is also an emotional attachment, an emotional thing. So you're kind of like losing or have lost sight of your past. That's what I think that means.
I think it's also important to mention that Pretty Girl wasn't in any pain.
Well,
and she was fine with it. Mm-hmm. My main concern is, making sure nothing festers or gets infected.
Yeah.
That was my main concern.
Well, I mean, that's it. Letting go of the past is not that painful. You just want to make sure it's not painful. It's not going to cause pain.
Right. Later.
Yeah.
Like let's get it all sewn up so that she'll be fine, and then I'll be fine.
And if it happened in real life, you'd flip out because it'd be about your cat. But it wasn't about your cat. It was about something else. And the fact that you were kind of okay with letting some of that go, even though you're still trying to fix it, you wanted to bring some comfort and stuff. Yeah, that's what I say.
Interesting.
That's my interpretation of that dream.
Neat. Well, thank you for interpreting my dream. I do have another story I'd like to talk to you about.
Oh, yeah?
But this has to do with my other pet.
Oh, okay.
My dog, Toffee.
You know, I had a dog that got cancer of the eye.
Did you really?
And it had a tumor under his eye.
Yeah.
And it grew and actually started poking his eye out. It was really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he smoked a lot. No, but it was weird. I felt so bad. I didn't know, it was the first time I knew that dogs got cancer. I didn't know dogs got cancer.
Dogs get all kinds of
I didn't know
things.
that then.
Yeah.
I know it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to keep him comfortable up until the point where couldn't do it no more.
Pupper.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's a cutie.
Yeah, so I took Toffee to the vet, and, it's just her annual...
Your dog, Toffee.
My dog, Toffee, took her to the vet. She's 2.5 years old.
Right.
I got her when she was 6 months old, so this is the second time I've taken her in for an annual.
Checkup.
Yeah.
Little prodding and stuff.
Last year, they gave her, the 1-year rabies vaccine. This time, they were able to give her the 3-year, so I don't have to worry about that for a couple years. But, of course, there's other vaccinations that they can only give once a year, et cetera, et cetera. Well, with things being socially distant right now, her veterinarian works in a way where, you pull up outside, you call them, you say, I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
And then the technician, the one that would normally check you in and ask you the questions, calls you back and says, do you have any concerns? Blah, blah, blah. How's this going? Is she pooping? Is she doing all the things? And, you answer the questions. And then they're like, okay, well, we'll let the doctor see her, and then the doctor will call you to go over her findings.
So, let me see. So, did you get to go in the office and stuff?
No.
Because we took our dog to the vet, and we had to stay in the parking lot.
Yeah.
They came out to the door,
Yep.
took the dog back. We stayed in the parking lot. They called us and said she's ready. We picked her up and took them.
Yeah, yeah. So
and then they called us with what was going on.
Before I even took Toffee up to the door, I was talking to the technician about any concerns, and she was filling out her intake paperwork, if you will. So she asked me all the questions about all the things, and then she's like, "Okay, meet me at the front door, and I'll get Toffee."
Yeah.
So I met her at the front door. She got Toffee, and I was like, I'm curious to see how much she weighs, because I think she's at like 74 pounds, right?
Yeah.
And the girl who grabbed her had the paperwork in her hand, and she goes, well, she was 64 pounds last year, so maybe not that much, you know? Well, so she took her in, and the doctor saw her, and then the doctor calls you. Now, mind you, I'm sitting outside in my car in the middle of the day in Atlanta, and I have no air conditioning in my car.
Yeah.
I am dying, right? I have been sitting out there from the time I pulled up till the time, the doctor calls me. It's been an hour. I'm sitting in my car in the hot. So finally I just got out of the car and went and walked in the shade and sat on a park bench, But when she called me, she told me Toffee's doing great, blah, blah, blah. She says, one thing I'd like to mention is that, it's been a year since we saw her. She's gained 11 pounds.
Whoa.
In a year.
She is now. She's eating.
She's 75 and a half pounds.
That's
now.
probably okay though. She's a stout dog.
She's dense.
She is.
Yeah, for sure. She's
strong.
Thick.
Yeah.
With 2 C's. And I'm like, oh. And the doctor says, have we cut back on her walks, or is she getting more food? And I told her, I said, this is what I feed her. I go by what was recommended, for her dog breed, blah blah blah. By you, this is what I'm giving her. But she also gets, peanut butter every day.
Yeah,
And she takes her medicine with bananas.
Get that weight management stuff though.
She
That's
likes
good stuff.
cheese. I like cheese. It's like every time I have cheese, she gets cheese.
But you'll give her pancreatitis. Don't do that.
I know.
Don't give her
the
cheese.
So
you don't want her having that.
No more cheese. I know.
No.
So
give her like fat-free cheese, skim cheese, and string cheese. Those kind of are much better.
Well, then that's what she normally gets is string cheese. And if I do give her like any other kind of block cheese, it's when when I'm grating it, you know. And so I just give her like 2 little shreds, and she's happy.
That is great.
Yeah,
all right.
It's great because it's grated.
I know.
Anyways, so she comes home, and I'm like, she's not fat, she's not obese by any means, by any stretch of the word. But the vet did say, let's cut back on her evening meal by about 1/4 cup.
She's not gonna like that.
She'll be fine. And and I did say, I said, it's freaking hot out, so she's not getting her walks anymore, her daily walks, because it's really freaking hot outside. And, we bonded over that because it is. But yeah, so that night, she started acting a little odd. Like she went outside. All she wanted to do was eat grass, but she kept telling me she had to go to the bathroom, but she wasn't going to the bathroom. So I called and I was like, is it possible that, maybe she could have some kind of reaction to the vaccine? And they're like, yeah, it is possible. So feed her a mild diet and give her a little Benadryl, right? Well, Toffee already takes Benadryl every day.
Uh-oh.
She takes 25 milligrams once or twice a day, if I remember, at night. I know that's horrible, but it's true. And she takes it for skin allergies because she's got skin allergies. And I'm like, well, I already gave her one this morning. I'm not really sure I want to give her anymore. And the doctor goes, well, you can give your dog 1 milligram per pound of Benadryl.
Should be like zonked out.
That would be 3 Benadryl. I would give her 75 milligrams of Benadryl.
Well, it's 1.5.
What?
Now, three a day or 3 each a session?
3. She said you can give her 75 milligrams of Benadryl 3 times a day.
Oh, no. Don't do that.
I didn't.
Don't even tell people on the podcast that.
I didn't do it. But, I looked it up online, and she's not wrong. Your dog can metabolize, because they metabolize medications differently, especially things like diphenhydramine, which is what Benadryl is. And right now, she only gets 25 milligrams once in the morning and sometimes in the evening.
Yeah.
And so I gave her 2. I gave her 50 milligrams just because I didn't want her to be uncomfortable or icky in her tummy.
Yeah.
And you're right. She went to sleep.
I go to sleep with that.
I go to sleep with 1 Benadryl. Benadryl knocks me the fuck out.
It is. It's a drug, man.
So, yeah. So, anyways, I just did it the one time. And then that night I did give her 1 more at bedtime. And she seems basically fine after that. So.
Okay.
So, Toffee's at the vet. She's got a good health record. Everything's happy with her. And that makes me happy.
Nice.
But
okay.
It cost me over $300. So.
Well, we probably should look at starting to wrap up the podcast.
Are my stories boring?
No.
Are you sure?
Not to me.
Are people still listening?
I don't know. It doesn't say here whether they listen or not.
I want live updates.
We just record them and put them out there.
I want live updates.
People can fast forward through mine, fast forward through yours, fast forward through the whole thing if they want. We would never know.
Or just never listen.
We just don't know.
We don't know.
But we do need to put a stop to it. I have a couple things I wanted to mention. Netflix, Cobra Kai. Is starting to, don't make a face.
I did roll my eyes. I'm sorry.
I have been waiting on Cobra Kai. It was on YouTube for a long time. And I saw the first episode on YouTube, and then they made you subscribe to YouTube, which I didn't do. But I've watched the first one, and Cobra Kai, it's the Karate Kid, people from Karate Kid now.
Yeah.
So it's like that happened then, and now they're old guys my age.
Yeah.
And they're still coping with that stuff. But everybody's talking about how great it is.
Okay.
It's well written, well acted.
Interesting.
Same characters everybody knows about. And I can't really give a spoiler because I haven't seen the show, but I know that I have heard. So the kick that Ralph Macchio's character, Daniel, gives, Billy Zabka, who is Johnny.
Yep.
He kicks him in the face, right? And then he wins.
Yeah.
Well, the face kick is illegal.
Yeah.
But he still wins the whole thing. So that's kind of what it's about, is Johnny's pissed off because he feels like he got cheated. Daniel won it illegally. And so
30 years ago.
his entire life, he's held this grudge.
Wow.
And so Daniel has become this successful person because of the fame and fortune that winning this thing and the confidence. And Johnny has not. So now they still live in the same community. They sort of become friends. They eat at each other's house, but they sort of kind of rekindle this rivalry, and Johnny decides he's going to start the Cobra Kai dojo again.
Oh boy.
And he starts recruiting people in the neighborhood, including Daniel's kids, and it causes some problems. So anyway, there's season 1, and I don't know what happens, but I've heard it's really good. And then season 2, and they're just getting ready soon to release season 3, and everybody says that it's getting very, very good.
Interesting.
I have heard rumors that Elizabeth Shue might come back and do her. Allie might come back.
Yeah.
And I think now it's on Netflix and it's really getting a lot of attention. And I think now she probably will, because they've been saying maybe she will, maybe she won't. But I think she might. But I can't wait. I want to watch it.
Okay.
It's kind of a Halloween thing because there is a Halloween scene, and they're all dressed in the skeletons. And I saw where there's kind of like a throwback to that scene where they're wearing the same outfit. Not though, I think younger kids are or something.
Sure.
So I can't wait. I want to watch it.
I have a mention, also an honorable mention, if you will, about Netflix. Okay, so everybody who knows me knows that I really, really, really enjoyed The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix. And that was like 2 Halloweens ago. And they kept talking about a sequel.
And they did it?
It'll be released on October 9th on Netflix. But they're doing very much an American Horror Story thing where they're using the same actors in different roles.
Oh, wow.
Like they do for American Horror Story.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Like Sarah Paulson's been on American Horror Story all the time, and she's a different person in every reincarnation.
That kind of freaked me out a little bit. It's like theater, I guess.
It's different, yeah. It's different, but I mean, but they do over time build some dynamics. But then watching how they don't go back to those dynamics, it shows that they're really good actors. So they're doing the same basic premise with this. So the first one was The Haunting of Hill House, which we know was based on that book, The Haunting of Hill House. This second series is The Haunting of Bly Manor, which is based on Turning the Screw, the book by starts with a J. Jason
Cagney. I don't know.
It's been a minute.
Okay.
It's an old book, but I'm super stoked about it.
Okay.
But when I watched the first series, I had somebody to watch it with.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I want to do that by myself.
Yeah.
But I also want to rewatch the first series.
Okay.
I will tell you, there are some scenes in the first series where, for several months after watching it, I would wake up in the middle of the night with that picture in my head.
Really?
It's not gory at all. It's scary.
Huh.
And the imagery is very much, there's a couple of like shock, scares, like bam, and it's scary and you, and cover your face. But that's not what's scary about it. The imagery in it is scary. And
I don't get scared by watching shows like that. They don't scare me. It's like I'm watching TV. Why would I be scared?
It's suspenseful.
Like, it really happened.
It builds up suspense.
Yeah.
And then boom, and scares you. Like a couple times it does the big jump scare.
Yeah.
But it's not really about jump scares. It's more about like they make you believe that this person is living through this. And of course, anytime you're watching TV, you have to suspend reality a little bit, in order to experience the program. And it's not difficult to do. Let's say it's not difficult to do with The Haunting of Hill House. It's easy to get sucked in. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to watch it again before October 9th, which is when The Haunting of Bly Manor will be released on Netflix. Yeah.
Speaking of suspenseful, I watched 1922, which is a Stephen King movie.
Yeah.
I'm not a Stephen King person, although I've seen some of the movies. But I liked it. I don't think I was expecting to like it as much as I did. It's not what I would call horror.
Yeah.
It's more like it's a thriller. There's some scary and creepy scenes in it, but for the most part, it's kind of it's sort of a thriller. Like something happens and you try to figure out how somebody's going to get out of it.
Yeah,
it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the guy that plays the lead, boy, he's just good. I mean, you never think that he could be anything other than the character he plays, which is like a really country farmer.
Yeah.
But he's really good. It takes place in 1922 and all the events and everything. So there's some creep in it if you like to be creeped, but yeah.
Where were you able to watch that?
It's on Netflix, I believe. Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon Prime. Those are the 3 I watch, so it's on one of those, but I'm pretty sure it was, I don't know. I kind of feel like it was Netflix.
Okay.
But give it a look. See if you can find it. Also on Netflix, I watched today, and I'm going to recommend this. I'm not going to explain a whole lot about it.
Okay.
It's called Mucho Mucho Amor.
Ooh. Much, much love?
It is a documentary about a person who you've probably never heard of if you're not Latino or Latina.
Okay.
It's a celebrity that was really big in Puerto Rico. And people who are of Latin descent, and your age and younger, and even older, I guess, know who this person is. He was huge in that culture, and just a gigantic celebrity. And then he just suddenly disappeared, and everybody's like, "What happened to this person?" And
this explains.
Yes, and I don't know what it was about it, but I almost cried several times in the movie. And it wasn't like anything happened. There was just something about the person that was just so sweet and just sort of a beautiful person.
Yeah.
And watching that person go through what happens, it was just kind of a beautiful thing. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. So anyway, it's quirky.
Okay.
But give it a look. I think you might like it.
So two recommendations from you,
Yeah.
1922 and Mucho Amor.
Yeah.
Okay.
1922, an actual movie. Mucho is a documentary, which is an actual movie, but I mean, it's a documentary based on real things.
And my recommendation is The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, so everybody who listens to This Epic Disaster now has all their movies planned out for them.
For the next week at least. Because The Haunting of Hill House is a series. Each episode is at least an hour long. And I think there are somewhere between 6 and 10.
Speaking of planned out, we do want to mention again our Halloween show coming up next month. We do this every year. We read stories written by our listeners. So please get them in. We need them a little bit early so we can do all the recording. What would be helpful is if you plan on doing it, just drop us a little line, say, I'm planning on doing one.
Yeah, just let us know.
Yeah.
That way we have an idea of what to expect.
If we only have like two shows or two stories, we really can't do a show.
No.
And usually Cheri writes one, I write one, and sometimes I can write two. I don't know if I have a chance this year, but I might. But, we'd like to have a few from our listeners.
Agreed.
Yeah, and so let us know. They don't have to be long stories.
No.
But just fun, be creative. It's a good chance. You're locked up from COVID. What do you got to do? Write some
Spend your normal commute time writing a story.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great idea and a great way to spend that time.
Yeah.
So that you can either ramp up to your workday or wind down from your workday. Because without commuting to work anymore, because I'm not back at the office, and my company as a company has decided we are not going back to the office until at least January.
Oh, wow.
And I have found that I've missed my ramp up morning time and my wind down.
It's going to be hard to get back into the swing of things.
Oh, God, you have no idea.
But, yeah, write stories. If you need to drink a beer or two or three, might get you in the mood for it. Might make you feel a little better. Might make you write a little more. Speaking of beer, what do we think of this? This is our, what are we drinking? Citra DryHop Lager?
Citra DryHop Lager by Hare Brewing Company. Yeah. It's low in calories. It's low in carbs. It's low in alcohol content.
And it smells like cat piss.
And it tastes like cat piss.
I've never tasted cat piss, but it's what I would imagine it tastes like.
It tastes like cat piss smells. Let me rephrase that.
That is true. That's the accurate evaluation. Now,
I don't like to be that harsh.
I want to say, what do you think of the beer? But you can't really go anywhere from that. But seriously, okay. It is all the beers that I don't particularly like, which is that really citrusy taste. Just tastes like grapefruit. People who like that are going to like this kind of beer. It's just watery. Not watery, but it's like drinking water in a way. There's no much alcohol in it. It doesn't have a lot of carbonation.
It's not worth the 100 calories, in my opinion.
It's heavy flavored. It's not like a watered down beer.
It's not like Coors Light.
Right. So I can't say it's my favorite one. Maybe it would be for other people.
Nah. I don't like to be super harsh, but I am not enjoying this beer.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 1.
You're giving it a 1. I'm giving it a 2.5.
Wow.
I drank more than you did, even though it wasn't my favorite. It is thirst quenching, so I'm going to give it that.
Okay.
It's a little thirst quenching. I don't like the flavor or the taste or anything, but it's there. And my tolerance for some of this beer has gotten a little bit better since we started. So 2.5.
Maybe I'm being overly judgmental, but I'm sticking behind my 1 for right now.
Well, I'm going to let you do that because I debated on that extra little 5 right there, and I probably shouldn't do it. No beer that tastes like cat piss should get an extra little 0.5, but I threw it in. But yeah, see what you think. See if you think that it tastes like cat piss, and let us know. Send us a line at thisepicdisaster@gmail.com. You know, we just did our sex episode with all these sex facts. We asked people questions.
It was a long episode.
It was really long. No one responded. No one has said a word about it. I don't know if anybody's even listened to it.
That's because no one has listened to it. We know this by now.
We've asked some questions to you about your sex. We want to know what's going on with your sex. What's happening?
With your sex.
What are the records that you have set? Not really. No. But let us know if you heard it, if you like it. Again, thisepicdisaster@gmail.com. Drop us a line. Tell us your dreams. Tell us what's going on in your relationships. Anything we can talk about on the show. Anything you want to hear. Are you a new listener? Are you an old listener? I know some new people have listened.
Yeah.
Because I noticed that we had a lot of downloads last week. So, we got some new subscribers. I guess they're subscribing. They're downloading.
So we should say welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Visit us on Facebook. We're frequently on Facebook, and we backed off a little bit because you and I both haven't been doing Facebook much at all.
I haven't gotten on Facebook at all.
You don't ever respond to anything anymore, which is not cool. I think you should check into the This Epic Disaster page every once in a while and say hi to the people.
You're right, and
every once in a while.
It's just self-protection at this
point. I know.
Point.
Yeah. We're also on Instagram. We are on mostly those. So we have a Twitter account, but we don't use it that much. YouTube, you can hear the shows on YouTube.
Yeah, you can't see us.
Occasionally we do a video. We were going to do one today, but we ran out of time. But let's do one next week.
Okay. Let's
do a little live video. Maybe live, maybe recorded, maybe. I don't know. We'll think of something.
We'll figure it out.
If you got a suggestion,
let us know.
All right. I'm kind of done.
That's a great way to end the episode.
So
I'm kind of done.
You come over and my wife makes dinner. So usually what happens is she makes dinner, we do the show, and then we go eat dinner.
Yep.
Today we ate dinner and then did the show. So I'm just like the whole time I'm like belching. I'm like,
well, it's because the reason we did it that way this time is because I wanted to learn how to make what she was making tonight. Yeah. So so I was cooking with her, and then it was ready.
Right.
And so if we came up here for an hour and then went down and ate, it would have been an awkward situation.
Right. But anyway, it happened, and we had a little beer, and we got to do the show, and it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I liked it. I like doing these shows. Think I would probably do it even if no one was listening. So I think it's a good time to test that out.
Let's see if anybody's listening.
I don't know if anybody's listening to the
show. I don't
either. But if you are, thank you. We do appreciate it. And we would like to hear from you every once in a while. Drop us a line. Just let us know. Drop a little Facebook thing. We're still doing our little Facebook challenge night and day. Post a video of a 80s, 90s, 70s, 80s, 90s artist with a famous video singing their song, and then the most recent version of the same thing you could find. So we can see how they've changed night and day. They've changed, day and night, night and day.
All that.
Just post it on there's some stuff up there now, and you can see what we do.
Yeah. One more quick mention. Mm-hmm. Rick is wearing a T-shirt that he purchased yesterday at a local store, and it's a great T-shirt, but he didn't wash it first.
Oh, so?
I have a weird thing with that. Like I don't want to wear clothes that someone else may or may not have tried on without washing it first.
I've never once ever thought of washing any kind of clothes that I've bought brand new. I've never thought of washing. I mean, I know potentially someone might have tried it on, but I've just never thought of
But it's not even just that. Like that T-shirt that you're wearing may have sat in a box in the storeroom and was walked on by rats. I mean, you don't know what kind of storage that T-shirt went
What stores
through.
are you shopping at?
All the big
disgusting.
stores have rodents.
I just never done that. I mean, if I get a shipment in from China, I don't wash it and then wear it. Because I always think if I wash it, I can't take it back if it doesn't fit or something. I mean,
I'm not against trying something on, but to actually wear it, I don't know. I'd wash it first.
Well, that's how you do it.
Okay. It's just weird to me that you don't.
I don't. Let us know if you do. thisepicdisaster@gmail.com. Drop us a line. Until next week, we will see you. Goodbye.
Bye. This is a Violet Jester Media podcast.